Welcome to the Marble Sports Worldwide Podcast, where we discuss and analyze your favorite marble sports. From JMR Marble League to I'll Go Do tournaments, we'll make sure you never miss the action. All marble sports, all the time, right here on the MSW Podcast.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Marble Sports Worldwide Podcast. My name is Brendan.
And I'm Commander Wolf.
And we have reached episode 52 of the show. For those looking for 51, I will be handling that tomorrow and getting that out. But you won't even be hearing this until, like, many days from now. Anyways, so we'll already be out. Anyway, it's late. All right, that's all I'm saying. It's late. But it's going to come out on somewhat tomorrow, meaning Tuesday. All right, that's that. So.
Yes.
Well, if anything interesting from you, man?
I guess now that I've had more freedom, I started working on a script for my next big YouTube project, but it's already over 7,000 words, and I'm still not done. I got maybe about another third left of my things I need to write down, so it's gonna be a long one.
Wow, that already sounds like it's a long one. Is it like a top 10 or something like that? Or
no, it's a big analysis of Code Lyoko. It's a show that from my childhood. It has like 2 sequels, and it's basically a gigantic mess of like how the whole sequel situation. And so I wanted to cover the issues with both sequels, which one is more faithful to the original, and then also what should happen from here on to fix the whole problem.
So it's like a whole theory situation on the movies?
Not a theory, but an analysis.
An analysis. But that's just an analysis. A film analysis. And cut. See? I still got film theory in there. He does a great job. I'm working on my all the Scooby-Doo binge watch thing through the whole timeline of Scooby-Doo chronologically as laid out by the timeline within this world of Scooby-Doo. Yeah. And that's continuing, so yeah, and there's that, and I'm playing Geometry Dash, and I'm streaming that. You can go check out my channel, GD Marble, if you want to watch that game and me talk. Yeah. Anyways, life is boring right now because still virus, and there's also all those protests and stuff. We're not here to cover that stuff, guys. That is obviously a lot of horrible things have been going on. In this time, and we're just here to talk about marbles, guys. We're here to cheer you up from all that terrible stuff going on out in the world, and just focusing on the rolling glass spheres that you know and love. So without further ado, let's hear Johnny Marble indulge us with the news of the week.
Marble Sports fans, I am Johnny Marble, and as always, I am coming to you for MSW. Now buckle up, Marble Sports fans, because there is quite a bit of news this week. First up is JMR with 3 new events. Event 2 of Last Marble Standing, Balancing, which had performances that rivaled even the teams of the Marble League. It was a close competition, but the semi-skimmers were able to take home first, followed by Dairy Dash in second and Milky Madness in third. Moving on over to Marbula E now, we had the most intense race so far, with Envision Virgin Racing launching Audi off of the track. While the judges ruled it as nothing more than an accident, Karma didn't seem to think so, as they went all the way from 3rd to 10th. But on a more positive note, the battle for first was a close one towards the middle of the race, but BMW ultimately took a decisive victory in the end, followed by Mercedes in second and Techeetah in third. Finally, going back to Last Marble Standing again with Event 3, the long jump. The competition was once again a close one, with the difference between first and second being only 0.03. And the winner of this close competition is Grays of Glory, followed by Team Purity in second and the Freshers in third. Only 3 more events remain, but hey, it's still anyone's game. Well, that's news for this week, guys. I've been Johnny Marble. You have been the best fans in the world, and let's take it back and continue on with the podcast.
All right, everybody, we are back from the news. Thank you, Johnny Marble, for another amazing news segment. You never fail to impress. I do got to freaking rant about something real quick. There's this thing on my computer. I was downloading this one thing, right? And then it was one of those things where you have the sneaky download where this other stuff starts downloading when you download the one thing. And now there's just this thing called a vast clear or vast stuck on my computer. And I tried to get rid of it, but it just keeps like freaking existing. I uninstalled it like 15 million times, and it's like, I don't know, it's a mess. So if anyone knows how to get rid of Avast, if you've had the Avast problem, because I looked it up, there's like it's kind of annoying. People complain about it, that it's like a sneak download, and you all of a sudden have this thing that takes up space and make things slower for you. It's so annoying. So I don't know what to do about it. So it's just here. It won't go away. The stupid frickin' logo is just bothering me. It's like an orange blob with like little like kind of blobs out in little places. I don't even know. But it's annoying. It's not fun. I'm not having fun right now with that there. So anyways, that is that. So Marble time, right?
Yes.
And we should introduce our guest.
Yes. Please say hello to Professor CC19.
Hello, it's an honor to be here.
Yeah, we'll just call him Professor for short.
Yes.
And Professor, we asked the same question to every new coming guest, guys. We all know what it is now. So let's ask it together. How did you get into Marble Sports?
Yeah, I thought about that for a while, and it took me a while to realize when exactly I did. But I believe it was back in 2017, and just random looking through YouTube, and I guess that's one benefit of YouTube Recommended, where I saw one of Yella's videos, and this was coming off Algodo Marble Racing, which I'm also very into, but
nice.
Originally it was very confusing because this was right in the middle of the 2017 Marbula E, so there was like 5 events out that year, I think, and then after that the recommended sent me to 2016, so I was confused as why are there different teams? Why is this incoherent? So it took me just a little while to realize that, okay, this is 2 separate years and who exactly to follow. But yeah, 2017 was the first year I followed as every new video came out through the Marbula E, and the team I rooted for wound up winning the first year I watched, which kind of solidified my fan base into it.
Oh, who was that?
2017 champions, Rangers all the way. I have the shirt on right now.
Nice. Oh, you have the shirt on. Oh, I wish we could see. That's supporting the team, you know?
Mm-hmm. And it's great that I can actually call it a sports team. Like, to go out in public, I know not doing that as much recently, but finally going out again and saying, hey, this is a sports team, sure. You better respect this.
I do sports too.
Respect the O.
No, absolutely. Yeah, that's a great way to get it. A lot of Rangers fans out there who you just got to respect the O, you know?
But yeah, it's always been kind of, I'm trying to think of the right word here, back and forth for me between real marble racing and Algodo. I feel like Algodo has kind of gone down in popularity recently.
Absolutely.
It has.
Yeah.
I'd say.
More so for me, it's when I first started my channel, I was like, well, what am I going to do? Because I originally started with Algodo content, and then it became a little difficult because I had literally nothing, no knowledge in recording or software or recording programs. So that went on the back burner. And then I realized later, once I did have a better knowledge of computers, that I can actually continue to do this. And I always try and develop what Yella does as closely as I can, but still keeping some originality into Algodo.
Which is good, yeah. Which is good. So you still make Algodo on your channel?
Oh, yes, absolutely. It's one of the mainstays. There's two mainstays on my channel, Candy Crush and Algadoo. New series always coming out. New series just created this year, an Algadoo version of Marbula 1 with 16 teams from other series, and that's going on right now, about halfway done.
It's good. It's good. That's really cool.
Very cool.
Yeah. I mean, I used to make some Algadoo on this channel. Y'all can go check that out if you want. Unfortunately, I'm not able to continue with that currently, but yeah, I mean, I put a lot of work into each Algadoo event, so I mean, it took such a long time to prepare every event and to run every event, and I can understand that it's very difficult to do, but
yeah,
really
absolutely.
it's a cool little niche marble sports thing, you know? But it's so hard to make Algadoo and then, you know, look over to JMR's channel and be like, oh, well, I mean, how could you watch Algadoo over JMR? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's true.
I think the problem, like a lot of smaller creators, like it's important not to just to judge your worth based on comparison. Because like when you're just starting out, of course you're not gonna be as good as the veterans. But like what matters is like, are you doing the best that you can? I think that's what you should not just you, but all new creators should be focused on.
Yeah.
And are you enjoying it too? Right. If you're not enjoying
Yes.
it, then that's the thing about YouTube. That really is the thing about YouTube in general. If you don't enjoy the content you're making, if you don't enjoy doing what your content's about, then there's no way you're going to succeed, because you have to be a small creator doing what you enjoy doing for a long time in order to, even if you grow quickly, even if you happen to have a great mind for, you know, where to advertise, what niche thing to do that no one's doing, where to grow, how to do that. Even if you do that, it's going to take a long time to grow to a point where you're going to be making a lot of money. So, I mean, you have to really like what you're doing at first on YouTube. So, yeah, absolutely. Always do what you love when it comes to YouTube. But yeah, shall we jump right into the recent videos?
I believe we shall. So I guess chronologically, we should start with the first Last Marble Standing Event 2, which was balancing. And it was quite interesting to see, actually. I was really impressed by how well some of these Cravendale marbles performed. They actually did they did 2 heats, so you have to look at their heats individually. But comparing their individual heats to some of the performers, the Marble League, they actually did better than quite a few. And admittedly, it's not while it's not fair to necessarily compare them directly, because I imagine like the tension and the stress of performing on that bigger stage has a much bigger effect than performing on these smaller stage of the
Craven
Last Marble
Dome.
Standing. Yeah, but like but I'm sure, but it's still the fact that remains that they did perform better than some, and so that is a fact that should be remembered, because it shows that these are still some really great athletes out there.
Yeah. What were your thoughts, Professor, on the Last Marble Standing balancing?
Well, balancing, that caught on more than I expected for 2019, like to be the most viewed video of the Marble League 2019 for JMR. But yeah, I think the style of having 2 runs for each team works out a lot better, although I understand why it wouldn't work so much with all 16 teams. But yeah, to see the above average performances for pretty much everybody, getting finishers in the first heat instead of having to wait halfway through the event, I think it reflects more so on I'm trying to think, the nature of the teams per se. Like you said about the pressure, like you'd think that the Marble League teams might be better adjusted to the pressure, especially those that have competed in multiple seasons.
That is true.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, some of the veteran teams, you know, performing worse than the new Craven Dome teams. You know, not the best look for them. But then balancing is one of those unique events where it's kind of almost up in the air how a marble's going to do. It's really just it's even more of a teamwork event than it is a singular event, because it's and Greg was kind of alluding to this during the event. It's not just about being able to balance singularly, but it's also about being able to position yourself well and keep your speed in the right way, and push off the beginning the right way, that you're not bumping into your other teammates, moving them to the side. You're not causing, you're not running into teammates and going off the side yourself. And it's really a teamwork event that can go in all directions, even for practiced teams. this event, it's not just down on singular balancing. If it was singular balancing, you'd probably expect more from Marble League teams, way more than in the Craven Dome. But this team event, it causes a lot of chaos, you know, and you don't really know what the outcome is. You know, sometimes you look at the event today. I mean, when the video came out, I guess you see sometimes where you'll get marbles. The fourth marble in the string is the one that gets all the way to the end. You get no marbles getting to the end. You sometimes have the first marble in the string getting all the way to the end. I mean, it's so varied based on how the marbles interact with each other coming out of the gate that it's really hard to really prepare and be confident and ready for that event. It's almost up to luck sometimes.
And what's kind of weird is the fact that we saw more of that team dynamic in the Cravendale balancing than we did in the Marble League, other than a couple teams that wound up on the podium, like the Hazers, where you saw them go almost 3 wide, like 2 wide, one trailing just behind them, where they had 2 finishers and one go very far. Maybe because of how early it was last year that some of the teams didn't take as many risks, and being on a lower stage, maybe the Cravendale teams were inclined to take more risks in a shorter event. I don't know, but I never really saw that interaction with the Cravendale teams as much in the Marble League last year, with a couple exceptions.
Right.
Well, another thing that I like to mention, like, so in balancing, like for like the first heat, the semi skimmers, Greg mentioned how like the 2 of the marbles actually bumped into each other, and he mentioned how like how he said it messed up. But honestly, if you look at it, the marble that was rolling off to the side, the one that made it the furthest in the end of that first heat, it was going to go off sooner, but that marble, like, it sacrificed itself basically to push it away from the edge just a little bit longer. So I think like there's also a level of teamwork that I personally do not remember seeing. I imagine that there are examples present in the Marble League, but for me at least, this is the first one that comes to mind when I think of a team member actively sacrificing their own point value to help another teammate get even higher points.
That's true. That's a very strategic play too, to be able to realize that would actually be beneficial as well, because
especially how fast they're going too.
Yeah, they're going quite fast out there, especially from the marble point of view. It's very hard to see what's going on often. To be able to have that state of mind, that presence on the field, to realize that your failure might result in your full team's gain. That's a good move as well. And I agree with Professor as well. There was a lot more interaction there on the field with the marbles, and a little more risky tactics, you could say. And that's probably due to the fact that they had 2 heats to work through that, right? They had a good amount of time to kind of go out there once, be reckless, fail, and go out and try it again a little bit better. So it's different from the Marble League in the sense, and actually you saw this in all the events so far. You even in the long jump, which was event 3, you have more heats, so there's more room for error. When you have the Marble League, you get one chance. So if you're gonna go out reckless, it's a fight or flight, right? You may win, you may completely lose going out reckless. So with less heats, it certainly puts a lot more pressure on the Marble League teams. It puts a lot more demanding for precision on the Marble League teams, as opposed to now you get 2 heats. You got 2 heats to figure the whole thing out. You kind of balancing. No pun intended. Balancing out the playing field out there, in essence.
Yes. Looking at their scores in the heats, actually, so the freshers actually did worse on their second run. Crazy Glory did better. Team Purity, they did better as well. Dairy Dash also did better. Milky Madness did better. And so basically most of the Marble teams, with the exception of the freshers, actually did better on their second run. So I think that does translate to the fact because I did mention how they did better than some other racers, but what I think from the Marble League, sorry, I'm losing my words here, but I think a part of that is because they got a second chance to run it and really get a feel for it, and I think that's probably what happened here. If you could look at because in Marble League you only get one shot, and so if you compare this to their first run, it's not nearly as impressive, their achievements, but it is interesting to see, I guess, the differences between the two.
Right. And And with
I don't know where I was going with it. I don't know where I was going with that one.
You
be
made
honest.
you made some loose points that were very important.
I made loose points, but they didn't really connect anything.
No, you're doing great. You have to got to put the dots out there before they get connected. How are you going to play connect the dots without the dots on the field, right?
I mean, with the chance to have a second run, two things you might have seen or not seen, depending on which event you're looking at, is the team dynamic not being figured out for some of the ML teams versus them not really wanting to try and figure out, just going one by one down the beam, seeing how far it works out.
Yeah, and that's tough because you know the question really is, what is the best dynamic on the balance beam in these events? I mean, it's hard to say. It's hard to say what the best strategy is. I mean, you come down all in a cluster, you know, you're all together, and you almost like if you come down in that diamond formation that we saw. Who did we see that from? Who was the diamond formation there in the balancing?
Oh,
I think there was two teams who did a diamond formation.
Because he really, I think, was it the Freshers? I think it was the Freshers the one time. But you come down in a diamond formation, you may set yourself up to keep those two of the marbles, you know, packed on the inside, almost guarded by those two outside marbles, and then you get a huge score pushing them all the way down. But on the other side of the coin, if you go diamond formation, you also have a lot of marbles clustered in the center, which could leave room for a lot of mistakes, you know, pushing off, all of a sudden it all falls apart. So what is the best formation? It's unknown. But the problem is, if you look to other formations, maybe a single file, like Professor was mentioning, single file formation, you just come down, you guys all stay apart, you just roll right down. The problem with that is that there is no room for every marble has to be perfect at single balancing, and not every marble on the team is going to have the same skill. And without marbles on the sides as guide marbles, you're going to have maybe 1, 2, 3, and all 4 of them all roll off to the sides, kind of all alone out there in the beam. So you're looking at a lot of different possible formations here on the balance beam, but the question is, which one's the best? But the answer is, there is no best. You have to, as a team, each team has to figure that out for themselves. And I think you saw a lot of that from these Craven Dome teams as they had the more thought process of, okay, we're not the best out here. We're good teams, but we're no Marble League. Let's at least try to get 1 or 2 marbles to the end. Let's at least push 1 or 2 to the end. You know, maybe have a tighter formation, a diamond formation, a more clustered formation. So we have some guide marbles and maybe can get 1 marble down to the end. And when you saw that happen, you saw some nice scores because you got that one, you know, group of 130 points there from the 1 marble.
I mean, I don't know, but I think there actually is a more like a definitive best one. I think it is like that single file line, but like maybe like having like a few marbles off to the side. So it's like maybe a 2x2 but offset. That way, situations kind of like the semi-skimmers. If a marble sees a teammate starting to fall down, they can try and push ahead a little bit to try and knock them ahead and keep them on for a little bit longer.
Yeah, the back marble, right? And then you kind of got like a double guide fence on either side, depending on where they lean to, right?
So less of like a diamond formation and more of like an elongated parallelogram.
Yeah,
that's my idea.
That sounds like your best possibility, actually.
At least in my opinion, in my professional marble connoisseur.
Indeed, the marble connoisseur.
Who knew geometry would be coming to play like here?
No, absolutely. Geometry, spheres, glass, all together in the Marble League. But yeah, I was really happy with Team Purity's performance in the balancing, which was good. They did pretty well. They didn't do the best, but they did okay. They did good enough. I like to see them not be last, as well as Milky Madness, who did not do very well in the balancing. Rooting for those two.
Actually, I think Milky Madness did better than Team Purity.
In the balancing? I swear to God, the Milky Madness did better in the long jump, and Purity was better in the balancing. I might be wrong about that.
I'm pretty sure Purity just got gold in the long... no, Purity got silver in the long jump today.
Yeah, silver in the long jump.
And I think Milky Madness got bronze in balancing last
Okay, then
week.
I had them confused. Yeah, I think you're right about that, because I remember the silver for Purity. So yeah, I think Purity suffered more in the balancing, but Milky Madness was a little bit better.
Which I was surprised about, because based on the first run, maybe he was comparing it to the ML teams, but based on the first run, I thought Purity would have a podium for sure.
Yeah.
But then everything happened in the second round.
Yeah, I think that's true.
Yeah, well, since we're talking about, I guess, long jump, we might as well move into talking about Event 3. I only recently seen it. I do not know if I have like there's anything that really stood out to me about long jump. Particularly, I guess I can look at the standings. Like I can maybe compare a little bit. I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it was just the fact that we hadn't seen a long jump in so long. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's been a long time. I just realized, oh, there's Waff's camera. I don't know why that wasn't showing up for a minute there. I was wondering, yeah, you should have mentioned that to me, Waff.
I messaged you about it.
You're back. Oh, I didn't see the message. But for me, I hadn't seen a long jump in a long time. Oh, long. See what I did there?
Since the ski jump, right?
Just kind of getting to see that event again. I think the last time we saw that, what was it, 2018? Was the last time they did long jump, or what was it?
The ski jump.
Ski jump was the last one?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Huh. I think so. I'm not 100% sure. But
the ski jump was probably better.
It was, what was it, snow-based, right?
Yeah, it was snow-based.
But, like, the sand long jump, I don't think we had seen since 2017. And I think, for me, it was a perfect kind of, representation of more of a Marble Olympics style Greg Woods, a Marble Olympics style watch of marble sports in general. I hadn't seen that in a long time. And that whole different aura that comes with it, of that kind of not high-paced every second, as we saw on like the Marbula E, how they're always going off, the marbles always super fast, but kind of more of like, Greg Woods inserting poignant comments every couple of seconds within the gaps as you hear the fans cheering. A different type of style that I missed because I hadn't seen a Marble League since last year, a Marble Olympics since last year, as well as a long jump for a few years. And then, kind of, it's a kind of event that lends itself more to numbers and analysis and taking a look at these marbles. How is their form through the drop, and how close is by the half of an inch by the millimeter. Those jumps were apart from each other. I don't know. That was a refreshing change of events for me, as far as marble sports goes.
So I'm looking at 2017's long jump. The first place was Chocolatiers with 71.3.
Chocolatiers, really?
Yeah.
I didn't see the Chocolatiers.
71.3 is not very impressive compared to what we saw from the.
But was the long jump set up differently though?
I feel like it was.
The distance is the same. Well, the distance is the same, I would assume, right?
But
the Marble Olympics record was from 2016, actually, still by the Rangers with 103.8. So that's still undefeated.
That's a lot different.
But they do change slightly the structure of the long jump each
year.
That
is true. So it's hard to say. It's hard to say how much of it still applies. Like, is the height of the ramp still the same, or is it a little bit higher now? Is it? I think that's something that's important to, I guess, figure out.
I think
like how consistent has it been?
I think the ramp would be a little lower, but you have a higher drop. I'm not 100% sure.
I feel like the track itself has to have different, like the base of it, because 2016 we saw jumps spanning from in the 70s to in the 100s, and then the other two seasons they never spanned more than 5. What is it? Centimeters?
It's
in centimeters. I'm pretty sure.
I think full centimeters. But like in this case, in this recent one, you had between I guess. I don't know. It looks pretty small though. Are you sure it's not millimeters?
Yeah, it's centimeters. Pretty sure at least.
Yeah, the point in between has to be millimeters. So.
That's true. Yeah. The points in between. So then you got like 80.4 and stuff like that. But yeah, you only saw a variation of about 3 centimeters. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this feels the long jump event itself feels like something that would be more fit for Cravendale. It seems like, I don't know, like the drop itself seems intense, like a short bit of action with everything very slow in between. It feels almost like, I don't know if I could say it, but like a very unusual James Bond movie with little bits of action and a pause in between, something like that.
Interesting analogy. Yeah, I'm looking back at 2016. I can't see the top of the ramp, so I have no idea how high it is compared to the one in Cravendale. No idea.
No. Yeah, and I think it would be a very close comparisons to try to differentiate that.
2017's looks even steeper, but but the numbers they had were lower. So I'm not entirely sure. It's a strange situation. I think that because long jump hasn't been done in 3 years now, it's going unless they do it again for Marble League. It's gonna be hard to really make a fair comparison.
I don't know. Long jump for me is just always. I don't know how to explain it, but like it's. I mean, really, when you take the event, it's just a marble, singular marble rolling off a track, man. That's it, and it does a little jump, and that's it. But there's something so intriguing about long jump, just the simplicity of watching one marble do one jump, and you're like, but did it get farther? Did it get far enough? And I just really enjoyed the Craven Dome one because all the jumps were so close.
They were.
And you had those 2 heats where marbles got to regroup and retry their jumps. Some of which I think most marbles actually suffered from the second heat, doing worse, but a couple did better. And you just got to see that whole situation work out. There's something nice and calming about watching just a singular marble jump down, and Greg Woods throwing in a comment every once in a while to spice it up. Just nice and the classic relaxing calm of a Marble League. A good break from. Marbula 1 and stuff like that.
Yeah, I do wonder, like, although if they've changed the long jump so much, like, would it be impossible now for the record to be broken? So, like, should the Rangers even still have that title? I don't know. This is an interesting discussion, I think, to happen if long jump even becomes relevant in Marble League again, which it might. We don't know yet. We're not entirely certain.
Yeah. It's hard to measure records because sometimes they change the look of the event. Like take block pushing, so often as well.
Yeah, like I feel like there is another record that was set really early on. Then the event changed, but the team that had it still kept the record. And then there's a couple events like that I wish they'd bring back, like Steeplechase from 2017.
That would be nice, yeah.
And the weird thing about that is we don't know which team has the record. It was Mellow Yellow, we got the penalties, so they missed the record, but we don't know which team had the record, as we do in like some of the others, like hurdles. Record's
still set by the test marbles and the refs, because even like with the first debut, they needed a record to see, like, for them to try and beat. And so basically the tests, marbles plus possibly the referees themselves competed and raced, and basically this is the best time currently.
So the referees were able to outperform all of our favorite ML teams.
Maybe that is something to think about, right? I mean, what's going on out there,
Wonder if they're still underpaid.
Yeah, that means we have true professionals though. We're judging these events, so
maybe a couple veteran Marble Olympics competitors in the crowd there. I don't know, but. Yeah, it's interesting how they do come to those initial records when there's not any to be had yet. I don't know. It's just good to see a long jump again. I want to see a long jump in the Marble League. I really hope we do. Just something simple. I want the simplicity to be there. Like I said, we were talking last week when we were talking about the whole, up in the graphics and editing on the JMR videos and that up in the sponsorships all flowing through and all that situation. And I just, in lieu of that, I want the simplicity to be there. I want the simple 5-meter sprint, the simple long jump, the simple balancing to just maintain his position there because of just how that is the essence of marble sports, in my opinion. Just that simplicity. Just you don't need to spice anything up. It's just entertaining as it is. So I'm hoping that continues in its way for Marble League. I don't know.
Exactly. Like when I watch that, I don't want to go find Cravendale on Amazon and get a cup to drink. I'm more concerned about the racing or the skill in whatever event, and as simple as it can be. Like last year, events like the format for surfing or the elimination race, I think just that late in the games, it took away from the appreciation. It was just too confusing.
Interesting, yeah, indeed. Because I mean, some of the enjoyment of marble sports is just watching marbles roll, man. Watching marbles roll, sitting there and just watching them roll. I mean, watching them roll. I mean, but I don't know. There are some confusing events. Surfing to me was actually a very complex event. You surfed, is that the word? And then you fell into the water, and then you have a time to get down to the end. It was very, very confusing. I couldn't even see the marbles very well. And then you talk about the elimination race, which that was a little bit more clear, but they would sometimes change how many marbles got eliminated.
Exactly.
It just got very, like, you were trying to keep track of the format that you sometimes almost forgot the marbles itself rolling down, you know?
And elimination was a little hard to follow because some of them got so far down you couldn't see them on screen. You were paying attention to the ones in back, and when your brain has to do math, and that just all compiles.
Yeah. Simplicity is key. But anyway, some thought just came to me in the last couple of minutes. I've been always wondering, why people, how JMR always seems to have so many subscribers, but when it comes down to it, the viewership is always way less than the subscriber count. I was just thinking about it, and it just occurred to me that, going back to some simple thing you said at the beginning, I think, Professor, where you're talking about how marble sports is a sport. It made me realize why, and talking about the simplicity of marble sports made me realize why you might have that problem where you have, JMR has over 1 million subscribers, but they don't nearly get that many views on their videos. And that's because when you take sports in general, most people that watch sports aren't like watching sports super analytically and super every second of the match watching it kind of thing, if you know what I mean. Like they're not, and in the way we're talking about events being too complex, most people aren't watching and like analyzing every move of the game like that, and especially when it's so complex, they kind of just want to sit back and watch something happen. And usually, when it shows up on TV, they kind of like are in and out, walking back and forth, not really focusing on the whole thing. And that's just the kind of thing I think that's brings the difficulty of why marble sports, because it's confined to YouTube right now, doesn't have as many viewers as viewers weekly and monthly and yearly as it has subscribers, because when it comes to sports, people don't usually sit there and watch every second of it. So when you have to actually go to a YouTube video and pull it up, as opposed to just flipping on the TV to see what random game's on, I mean, it's kind of like, it's a lot of effort for something where there's just, people usually don't pay that much attention, that much focused attention on sports. So I don't know. That's just some theory that came to me. I always wonder that.
A better analogy for one thing, like on normal YouTube channels, people will subscribe for one thing and not for the other. So people might like only the Marbula E, but they don't like the Marble. They don't like Marbula, the Marbula E or Marbula or one, or they prefer those, but they don't prefer Marbula E, so they won't watch those. But then also, just compared to real life, a lot of people will like to watch the Olympics, but not everybody will watch every single event of the Olympics.
That's true, yeah.
And they won't watch every single team compete in the Olympics. They'll generally only watch their team for the events that they like. It's always been that way. Like, people don't watch things that they don't understand or aren't interested in, because that's just how it is. Like, especially for real life Olympics, it's more. It's more so because it's much longer and much more of a time consumer. So, but compared to Marble League, which is at most in the past 20 minutes, but the point still stands that is still time that you could spend doing anything else. So it's understandable why some people don't watch everybody else.
Was that like who watches curling in the real Olympics?
Curling fans, but only curling fans, probably.
Fans. Wow, what an answer!
Or the super patriotic people who really want to see their team do good in everything.
That's true, their country, yeah.
Or other than the Olympic Channel, where do you see curling on TV when broadcast the Olympics? Very rarely.
I imagine there's an ESPN, one of the ESPN 2 or 3.
ESPN 70. But I agree with that. And I actually kind of a new perspective for me that Waff brought there, like, when you talk about sports and the Olympics and things like that, people don't watch every event. I don't watch every event when the Olympics comes on. Usually I tune in for specific ones based on what I'm interested in. And for some reason, I always get this impression of marble sports, like, oh, it's marble sports, it's a short video, and it's marbles. This is new and unique compared to people doing Olympic stuff. How could you not watch every event? But other people, obviously have other opinions on it, and they're just kind of, a lot of people are kind of just passive watchers, seeing it for the first time, not recording a podcast about it, and they're just like, I like the one where the marbles crash together and they collide and that shit, but I'm not really a big fan of the ones where they just roll down the ramp, and I get that, you're not going to be a fan of every single event. So, we 100%.
we talked about, like, we're not fans of every event either. Like, just because we love the sport, we love the channel, we'll watch everything. And also, we analyze everything, so we kind of have to watch everything. Even if we didn't want to, but I do want to. It's just like, there's always the ones that I prefer over the others.
Exactly. Yeah,
exactly. Like with Marbula E now, like on one of my videos the other day where I also have kind of analysis and predictions and such for JMR and the Marble Insider, but I said that I wasn't necessarily going to get into the Cravendale or Marbula E, but as soon as the video comes out, I'm like, oh, what? Well, I can't not watch it.
You can't not watch JMR. How do you not watch JMR? Who does that? You know?
I mean, another thing I love about this is just as the sport is the not captivity, captivating nature of it. And like over time, it catches on. If you're persistent enough, I've finally gotten my family into the sport as well, and they have their teams, and they watch Marbula 1, and lucky for my family, they always pick the winner.
The old Rangers. I don't know if that's what you're talking about.
Yeah, actually, no. My family is... I have one Savage Speeders fan, one Snowballs fan, and one mild Raspberry Racer fan.
Mild Raspberry Racers, you know? just a little bit of raspberry, not too much raspberry. We like to keep it relatively plain here.
Yeah, pretty much. She also likes the chocolatiers.
Oh yeah, a little raspberry, a little chocolate, and go a long way, right?
Yeah, we're thinking on the right lines now.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
All right, well, I think we've talked enough about the Cravendale. Let's move. Why don't we head on to the trivia?
The trivia segment. Oh, I knew it. I knew it.
I love trivia.
I knew we wanted a trivia segment, and I didn't even know. What? I didn't make words. All right, let's do the trivia segment. Do the thing with the music.
Now it's time for the trivia segment. Come on now, let's go, go, go. Go, go, go. And there it is.
Yeah. I guess it's playing right now. I don't know how this works, but you know, there's the music. All right, good. We're in the trivia segment. Trivia happens. You must answer trivia. You gotta. Right? Yes.
Yes.
So go.
All right. I have mine. So, as we just mentioned earlier, the Cravendale marbles actually did, really well, in balancing, and so to the point where they actually did better than a lot of the Marbula E marbles. And so I took according to the best score, which is the second heat from balancing, and taking the results for balancing from 2019. The first place team for Cravendale was the Semi Skimmers with a 384 for their run. So they're, compared to the run scores of the Marble League, they beat everyone except for the top two. And the question is, what two marble teams beat them in balancing in terms of
from
score?
Marble League? Wow! Like, first of all, wow that they did that, right?
Yeah,
that's impressive.
So you're looking for the teams that were gold and silver in balancing in Marble League 19?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, I'll step back because I know this.
I do not. This is yes, I host the podcast. Doesn't mean I know everything. But here we go. Okay, balancing. Let's think balancing. Who do we got here? Well, balancing was what? This actually will help me a lot, believe it or not. What number event was balancing in the Marble Olympics?
3.
Marble League 2019. 3. Okay, so we know the Green Ducks were not in there because the Green Ducks, I don't think medaled. They didn't medal for a while. They medaled, but they finished 4th many times, as far as I can remember. So it's not the Green Ducks, I don't think. I remember the Hazers doing well, but I think. Wait, was that the triple record season? That was the triple record. Was that the triple record season?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so it was the Crazy Cat's Eyes did 3rd. Then Thunderbolts Hazers. That's what I'm going with. Thunderbolts.
Yeah, I should have changed the question. I should have worded it differently. But yeah, you're right. It's Hazers and Thunderbolts.
That was tough. I had to go back and remember the events. It was a good way for me to remember that triple record event. That was a big deal. You know, we had Crazy Cat's Eyes out there breaking a record, but because the Crazy Cat's Eyes are obsolete in the eyes of most marble sports fans, unfortunately.
Really?
We had to have the Thunderbolts come in, and then we had to have the Hazers come in. Yes, no, most people don't even, I never hear about the Crazy Cat's Eyes. I love the Crazy Cat's Eyes. They're one of my favorite teams. They're in my top 5, but nobody speaks of them.
I mean, they're like the face of the shirt. Like, if you have the...
Right.
Like, I called them iconic on my video the other day, so I
They're
don't
the
know.
classic marble, cat's eye marble.
Exactly.
Like
Yeah.
the first marbles ever made.
Like, it's
The
surprising
first
that they didn't,
marble marbles.
like, they didn't come into existence until 2018. That's surprising. But
Yeah,
yeah,
and it's
I knew the Hazers and the Thunderbolts, by the way.
it's good.
Yeah, I could tell.
I do like the
Alright, so-
Thunderbolts.
Who has another trivia question for us to do?
That's a good question. I enjoyed that question. You want to go ahead, Professor?
Okay. Well, I thought about this one because I am, after a Marvel fan, a trivia fan to the soul. I thought about doing one with wordplay, but I'll just go back farther a little bit. Do y'all still remember the Amazing Maze?
Oh.
Yes, I think. I think I know what you're talking about.
Wolf's like,
I think I know what you're talking about.
You're gonna have to refresh me a little bit. I probably watched the video, but I don't remember it really well. You know what I'm saying?
It was like in between 18 and 19. It was supposed to be training, and it was the big Humbolino maze, and they had only the winners advance and the 2 wild cards.
Wait, was this with Marble League teams?
Yes, all of them. It was before the Green Ducks came.
Oh my God! Wow, you're really taking this hard. All right,
This
ask
is a
the
niche
question.
one.
Let's see if I
Is
can
this
get
even
it.
on the is it even on JMR's channel anymore?
Yes, it's like one of the first videos they uploaded when they restarted the channel.
Oh, okay.
Oh man.
Wow. So what's your question about it?
Okay,
Let's see how this goes.
there's 2 possible answers. Which team missed advancing by 1 spot? There's 2 teams that tied. Either team that missed.
Wait, what do you,
Oh, no,
how
what's
did
your-
this? Wait, I forget. How did this even work? How did the Amazing Race even work?
Okay, I'll just change it. Which team won? Which team won?
Which team won? I don't think that's gonna help anyway. I think we're both gonna.
That is a tough, dude. That's a tough race to remember, man. I mean, like, dude, I remember records from 2016 Marble Olympics, man, but I don't remember the Amazing Race. That's crazy.
All right, so I was still gonna try answering your first question, so I'll throw one out there. I'll say that the I want to say maybe the Team Galactic lost out by 1 point, and the winners I want to let's say I'll go with.
I'm gonna stick to Savage Beaters. I gotta go with what I gotta go with. Savage Beaters is my
go
best
with-
option.
Thunderbolts, I guess.
Oh wow, that's an answer.
It's an answer.
Okay, well, you were close with Savage Speeders. They came in 3rd.
Oh, Savage. Oh, well then, Mellow Yellow.
The winners were the Raspberry Racers.
Oh, what foreshadowing! Wow, look at that.
Dang.
I didn't even notice that.
Yeah.
How did we not mention that? Well, actually, that came out quite a bit before episode 1 of the podcast. So like, I think
it did.
I wasn't even like invested in this whole situation. Like, I hadn't even joined the Discord for the first time. You know, messed up royally the fan team competition. That had not happened yet. You know, so like that was before my Marble Sports connoisseur time. You know.
Yeah.
I had gotten kind of into it, but definitely not to the degree that I currently am doing. Obviously.
Oh wow! Yes.
Yeah, it just kind of happens over time.
So what about your first original question?
Oh, okay, the 2 teams that just missed out by 1 spot were Primary and Jawbreakers.
Oh well,
Yeah,
Jawbreakers.
there was no way it was all just
I would
pure
never would have
guess.
guessed Jawbreakers. Yeah, so for anyone who remembers the Amazing Race, you probably like, there, yeah, those are the facts, and those are indeed the facts. So there you go. Yeah.
All right, Brendan. So what's your trivia question?
I failed to prepare one, as you know. It sometimes just slips the mind, man. It slips the mind. But I think I have a good one, but you just have to let me think for a sec. Okay, yeah, I got it. We'll go recent. We'll go recent this time. You know, see, test your knowledge on the recent videos. So obviously we know that unfortunately here in Marbula E and Vision Virgin Racing had a terrible race again. But in the end, how far did they make it up? You know, what was the top place they reached in this recent race?
They reached 3rd.
Yeah, I want to say 3rd too. It was either 3rd or 4th, but I think 3rd.
4th. I pretty 100%. I watched this video like an hour ago. It's 4th. You check me on that. If I'm wrong, I will end the podcast forever. But it's 4th.
Okay, then I'm not fact checking.
Oh no! Thank you. That's a
No, Envision made it to
compliment
3rd.
disguise.
Envision
Damn
made
it!
to 3rd.
Damn it! But now I
For a brief second. they
Are
made
you
it to
kidding
third.
me? Of course, for a brief second.
Well, actually, it was not a brief second. It was actually a good, decent part of the lap. It seemed.
I swear
Yep.
it was fourth. See, that's what happens when I don't prepare a trivia question. I
Yeah.
get facts wrong. But
So
I don't know. I was just
you did it,
thinking about
Professor.
that.
We got it right.
Yeah, see, I made the bad question on purpose because I wanted to see if I wanted to test your knowledge, see if you would call me out. Yeah, see what I did there, Professor?
All right. Well, that was the
doesn't
trivia
answer. He
segment,
doesn't-
everybody.
He doesn't
so
have any
let's
words
head
for
on
my
back.
stupidity.
Oh, sorry,
Yeah,
I
let's
just
head on
left.
back with the music. Music time.
That was the trivia segment. Now let's head back to the show. The show. Oh.
All right, we're back. Are we here? Are we after
Yes,
the
we are
music or
back.
before the music still? I have
We
no
are
idea.
here now, so we can.
Who knows where it's
so
gonna be?
we can discuss the race 3, and I gotta say, so this I had so much fun with race 3, because I for obvious reasons, like the highlight of the race was just seeing Envision not launch Audi off the track.
That was incredible, dude. I didn't even think that was possible. What momentumums, right? I mean,
Oh
Wait,
my
what?
gosh, it's so great.
What did you say?
momentum.
It's
lot of
his
momentum.
thing. It's his thing. Don't worry about it.
What do you mean, my thing, dude? Momentum. Did you
I
see
could
the
have
momentum?
sworn I heard the episode where you started that.
He
What do you
mispronounced
mean?
it.
I fail to understand. If you look at the race, there was a situation in which Envision Virgin Racing was behind Audi, and there was a lots of momentumums, and they came into each other, and Envision Virgin with its momentumums hit Audi off the track. Does that not happen?
Yes.
Yeah, that happened.
So why are we acting like we're all confused here?
Oh my gosh, Brett. Just humor him, Professor. We're not gonna get anywhere if we keep this up.
Yeah.
We're
Whatever
not gonna
happened.
roll anywhere, huh? See what I did there?
Whatever happened. Whatever.
Ricochet? Oh, he's over there? Ah, Ricochet.
Oh
he's
my
Whatever.
gosh.
Whatever happened to momentum?
Well, I'm gonna defer to you on that one.
I don't remember that being a thing.
That was
That would be a good hashtag. Hashtag momentum.
it was let me think. It was back in the Winter Games. Greg Woods, he said something. I think it was like Oceanics were running right before they got stopped, and he said they have a lot of momentum, or momentum, dare I say, because that
Did
was
he
a year
actually?
Momo
Oh,
was still there.
he might have said that. Yeah.
That's just a Greg Woods thing to say. Just kind of like, tickle you with a little joke there, you know?
Like, you have to adore him for those kind of things.
Yeah, dude. He's the best. He's the best.
Yeah.
You know?
Like, even though Envision did clearly knocked Audi off of the track, like whether it was on purpose or not, I actually started rooting for him. I kind of that just got me excited, but. And also, I like rooting for an underdog, and so when they were doing good, I was like, oh yeah, but then again, at the end of the day, they just dropped down
and
to
they slowly
10th.
slipped down too. You saw him get up there and just over like 5 laps, slowly slip down one place by one place by one place.
Yeah, they got 1 point. If they got
you're
any
like-
more, they would have gotten out of last place. They would have
Yeah.
tied with Nissan.
And
That's
Nissan,
also not having-
and Nissan's the only one they actually managed to beat that's still finished. Because
but
if Audi didn't go flying, they would have gotten 0 points.
Well, our left 1 point is still 1 point. Yes, anti-camper, but at the end, it's still like they could have done so much better. And like I don't know how many races there's gonna be in Formula E, but I doubt that it's possible anymore for Envision to win because of this. But I don't know. It depends how many races there are. Are there 3 more, or is there just one more? We don't
I
know.
feel like there's a
two.
lot more, because if you look at the if you look at like the promo, doesn't it list like all the names of the cities very quickly? Like you can't quite count. Like
Are they
I
really going to be running this thing for like the next few months? I mean, I kind of don't want many more of these. I have to be honest with you.
yeah.
Like, I mean, I
Yeah.
want Marble League to come through, and I want Marble League to be there in its full force without filler. I don't want to see any other Marble Sports during the Marble League time. I don't. And come on. I mean, have we milked the Marbula 1 thing enough yet? Right?
Yeah,
I
I
mean-
feel like I gotten tired of it too. Like, it's similar. Like, well, I don't think I've ever had a point where I got tired of Marble League. I imagine if I had Marble League nonstop, I would get tired. Although
Oh,
then
well, you
I
get tired of
binged. I
anything.
binged all of Marble League though, but I did so.
Same. I binged it for my
No,
birthday.
but you realize the excitement of binging is realizing that there's an end to the binging.
Right.
Someone write that down, and also someone look into that, because that makes a lot of sense, even though it makes no sense.
I feel like the excitement to the binging is eating snacks while you're binging, while realizing, hey, I probably shouldn't be doing this, which makes it a guilty pleasure, which is even better.
They do go through the cities real
better
quick.
than like eating your favorite foods while watching a show that you just want to watch. You just want to see it. No, but for me, like you take like the series I'm binging now, like, you know, not Marvel related, unfortunately, but I love Scooby-Doo. I just, because we're stuck in our houses, I'm trying to do all the Scooby-Doo in the order of the timeline by which Scooby-Doo exists.
How many movies were there?
You're talking like 14 series and 36 movies all over the last 50 years.
Oh, wow.
So a lot of stuff. But the excitement in the binging of that chronological timeline is the fact that there is an end to it. There's going to be a point where I will sit there and I will watch the last episode, or maybe, I don't know how I'm going to get that far, maybe watch the last episode and I have completed the journey. And binging is exciting because the journey will end. If Marble League was an endless slew of events for ever and just there was always another season, then it would be like, not really, you know, it wouldn't be as exciting. But the fact that it is only once a year, you kind of have that whole suspense building up to it, you know, and that, you know, the community built around the suspense. So that's what makes it awesome. But when Marble League is happening, I don't want to see Marbula E. I really don't. I really actually don't. I'm going to be upset if I see any promotional content during the Marble E season. The Marble League season, I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it.
It's like the two events should be unrelated.
I went through frame by frame through the Marbula E opening. There are 12 cities listed, so there's going to be probably at least...
Jesus.
There'll be like at least...
12 cities?
Yeah, 9 more. There'll just be like 9 more races, most likely.
Come on.
Talk about it.
Your mind?
Talk about if Envision version actually did good consistently enough to have a chance. Talk about the comeback that would be. That would be more than
Yeah, they have a chance now again.
Pinkies are never do something.
That's 4 more races than we saw in Marbula 1.
Yeah.
That's going to be going right through Marble League. I don't like it. What are they going to do? Like release one Marbula E and then one Marble E each week? I'm not going to like this very much, I got to be honest with you. I mean, that's 12. That's 12, and I got to be honest, the qualifiers for Marbula E are not interesting to watch.
Yeah, really.
They're really, I mean, come on, guys. I mean, I know that they have the best editing and the best look to their track and the best graphics. But when there's only a singular marble being timed as it rolls around the track, I'm going to lose interest after all 12 of them finish doing that. We need Marble League back. We need a break from Marbula 1, Marbula E, whatever you call it. You know, we need a break. I need to see some collision. I need to see some complex formations that Greg pulls out of nowhere as he describes collision happening. I need to see rafting come back as marbles get flown out of raft. I don't even know. I need to see that. I miss that. I want it back, and I don't want to see 9 more episodes of Marbula E. I have to be quite honest with you. It's a little harsh, but it's true.
Looking at our live chat, only 3 events were pre-recorded, so there'll be nothing until after ML20. So there will not be any interruptions during ML20.
Oh, that's good.
Isn't that be weird to delay 9 races and then do them right afterwards?
Well, didn't that happen to Hualino? Didn't that happen?
No.
Oh, I was going to say. Okay, I was saying, didn't that happen to like Hualino when Marble League first came out? Like they did 8 events and then they did the last 4 like months later. You never knew they were going to finish it.
Is that how it happened?
No, did they?
Actually, no, I think they finished it and then he decided to add 4 more events. Because originally
Really?
I don't know, I'm coming from way back because I remember the very first Hualino tournament, Ruby Rulers won because they had 8 events and the double points. But then they changed it after Marble League and they added the last 12 events like block pushing and collision to Hualino after they were introduced in Marble League.
So, which Hualino are we talking about here? Because 2018 had only 8 events.
I think 2016. No, 2017. 2017.
2017?
Yeah, the very first one.
2016 was the first one.
Then 2016.
Okay. I guess I'll check. I think they only have the all events version. They don't have a single one.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
I think that's far enough back, yeah. The one thing I do miss after his channel restarted is the highlights from...
There were 12 events in 2016, but I can't
Oh, you
tell
mean
if
you mean the top 10 most thrilling races of 2019 or something like that, stuff like that?
The highlights of ML18, where he did the highlights and like the bloopers at the end. I missed that video. Like the events he considered for the final while we waited several months, and him falling down in the snow trying to
that's
record.
funny. Oh, yeah, because it kind of added that personal touch to it. Yeah.
So
But I don't
it was
know.
on
I feel like JMR has a weird goal to be as professional as you could possibly be, and they're nailing it. But you know what I'm saying?
I guess that must be right because there's no 2017 Hoobalino tournaments. I guess that's right. I guess the last 4 events were bled into 26. It's like, but did they add teams or like it was just like they just added events?
They added events. They changed the. Yeah,
that's right. I remember like actually watching like basically in the first few events they listed only 8, but then like towards a certain point they listed, hey, we're doing 8 more or 4 more. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, I think that we've covered all the topics for today. We're almost at an hour. If anyone has anything else they want to add marble related, then do it. And if you don't, we can raspberry race our way out of there. Huh? See what did there?
Yes, I see.
Now that he's on webcam, you can literally see the pain flickering across his face as I produce these unplanned, just not even creative puns.
Yeah.
Look at him. Someone meme that right there. Kaysen, who's in the live chat. You good
that
at
looks
memes.
very familiar.
Take a screenshot of what he just did there. And take that.
You can't write that down. You have to start one with a picture.
You can picture that down.
I don't know. The biggest mistake about Marbula E is that they put the qualifiers in the same video as the main race. Because if you get through the qualifiers, you're probably bored to the point where you don't necessarily know what you're getting in the main race, which is much better.
But they also obviously can't make it 2 separate videos either because they just don't have the space for that. And they also probably don't want to, because the problem with qualifiers and Marbula whatever is it's just freaking boring, man. And that's why I suggested this when Fubico was doing his qualifiers as well. If I was doing the qualifiers, I would kind of do some kind of not time lapse but kind of like a side by side situation where maybe I'd have 2 marbles running side by side. I actually my idea was take the full run of each qualifying marble and then just do like 2 at a time, side by side on the screen. So not only does it go half the time, but it also, you have this, if you line the side by side videos up correctly, you have this unintended sort of 1v1 race kind of thing. You know
exactly.
What I'm saying? So it would kind of do that. And I propose that, I mentioned that in the podcast, I proposed that with Fubica. It's a great idea, but not everybody wants to do that. I think it would be a great idea. I think it would. But everybody likes to maintain the look, and also it might be a little bit clunky on the screen with the 2 of them there, and then like random dark background somewhere. I don't know, but I just think it would be really cool. And but yeah, it definitely gets boring. It definitely does. I really, and then like the race is like 5 minutes too, and the fact that the races are timed instead of laps, it's not. You kind of like okay, they're just going to roll around for 4 minutes, but it's not really important until the last minute kind of thing. So yeah, the marbles placements develop over the 4 minutes, but with laps, at least it's like, oh, each lap is 1 step closer to the final lap, as opposed to the minutes where you're just kind of like, oh, this is just timed, kind of like putting something in the microwave and coming back in 3 minutes, right? Just, put it in the microwave, come back 3 minutes, I'll be back here for the last 20 seconds for it to finish up heating, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
And you just watch the clock kind of tick down, like, some marbles are passing, some Envision version raging, throwing stuff off the. I don't know, but I don't know. I just let me see some collision, man. I just want to see some collision.
Yeah. I had one other
we'll
question.
We're getting that hopefully relatively soon.
Yes,
so,
Waff. He's
all right,
the Waff.
Is that all? Like, I don't know about you, but I don't really have much to say. Like, while I was excited about
you
that
don't
one
have much
thing.
to say. We're already at an hour again. What? No, we always have a lot to say, guys.
That's
but we run out
much
of words.
left,
Yeah, but
the qualifiers come soon.
Wrap up.
Yes, and I can't wait. 18th, so 10 days from now, as we're recording this. It's gonna be
10 days from now. Oh, yeah. So the next episode, we will be really diving into these qualifiers. What's going to happen?
Well, no, because next episode, we will be those qualifiers still won't have happened.
Yeah.
No, but we will discuss what we think is going to happen.
Oh,
what
okay.
we think is going to occur.
Like what?
I really can't wait for that first episode of the qualifiers, and then just to see some of the teams, and then just dive right in and be like, these predictions. I knew these predictions were going to be correct.
Like, what would be the weirdest outcome? Like, you'd think, like, what team would be the weirdest one to qualify this year? Like, there would be a small chance, but you wouldn't expect.
Hornets.
Really?
After their
Absolutely
M1
Hornets.
performance, maybe.
After their M1 performance, if they qualify or have a really good performance, I'm going to be surprised.
Well, I mean, they did good in
I'm gonna be-
Showdown, so I mean, it wouldn't be as much of a surprise as you think.
It would be a surprise to me. I think they lost. I think once they're up there in the big leagues with those other teams, the more important teams, they lost a lot of composure. And you're probably going to see that occur in the qualifiers here.
But it was also just a racing event, though.
Would be very, very surprised if the Savage Speeders, who now have to do the qualifiers for the first time ever, do not make it. If they don't qualify, I think it's in chaos. The Andromedome might fall apart, fall from the sky. If the Savage Speeders do not qualify this year, I don't even and they couldn't, they may not, right? I mean, this is the first time the Savage Speeders have to face a qualifying situation.
I think they
so
will.
they might fail.
Although I honestly think the Hornets will too. I mean, there hasn't been a season yet where there hasn't been at least one rookie team. I think that's one of the aspects that you couldn't really go without. Like, we had a Hazers, we had a Green Ducks. What would a season be like without rooting for someone who's unknown and worth rooting for, maybe?
That's true. And I agree with that. I just, in my humble opinion, I do not think the Hornets are going to make it this year. Just the way that I see them out there when they're against teams like Rangers, Savage Speeders, Mellow Yellow, I just don't see it. And also, it would be very weird for me if the Mellow Yellow doesn't qualify, because I've already, 2 months ago even, established that my prediction for the winner of 2020 Marble League is Mellow Yellow. So if they don't even qualify, that kind of jeopardizes my position as host here on the show, all right? So, I mean, WAF might have to take over the host position if the Mellow Yellow does not qualify.
The Mellow Yellow.
Mellow Yellow.
I mean, I'll just throw it out there earlier. I said it last year, and I was proved very wrong. If they qualify, I'll still give Thunderbolts a decent chance of winning, mainly because I want a team to say that's not completely out there.
That's a tough prediction, man. I hope that, dude, I give you I don't even know. That's a tough prediction to put down, man. That's a tough prediction, I mean, Thunderbolts are just... they kind of disappear in there. If they win, I'm going to be surprised. But you know what? For your sake, I hope they at least qualify and put up a great performance this year.
Help for the trifecta of qualifying.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not even a huge... I like the Speeders. I'm not a huge Speeders fan, but I just want to see them qualify to keep order in the marble sports world. If there's anything that's going to shatter glass out there on the field, it's going to be the Savage Speeders not qualifying this year, which would be unbelievable in my opinion.
Yeah,
well, I suppose we could save our predictions for the qualifiers for next time. But for now, this has been the MSW podcast. Thank you so much for watching or listening. And
next
roll. I guess we'll see you next time. Roll on, Marble Sports fans.